Good evening. This is Craig St. Clair, and I am from Venus, Texas, currently living there, and you are in the music room. I'd get up early each morning and go to your house. Both of your parents had work, so we knew they'd be out. We'd listen to music, talk about all of our dreams. We might have been lovers if we weren't so shy in our teens. It was just one summer when we were young and free. Time was just some numbers we didn't really heed. Life was full of wonder, all you could want it to be. It was just one summer, and we had a chance to be young, you and me. Hours and days turned to weeks, then a month we went on. Daily repeating the beat of our hearts in the songs. Never advancing to where we might lose our control, but feeling connected somewhere down deep in our souls. It was just one summer when we were young and free. Time was just some numbers we didn't really heed. Life was full of wonder, all you could want it to be. It was just one summer, and we had a chance to be young, you and me. Now I look back on those days that we spent perfectly. Nothing we did would we ever regret, we agreed. Friends for forever, our only endeavor would be to live with a smile on our hearts few would ever believe. It was just one summer when we were young and free. Time was just some numbers we didn't really heed. Life was full of wonder, all you could want it to be. It was just one summer, and we had a chance to be young, you and me. It was just one summer, and we had the right to be young, you and me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome back, Craig St. Clair. It has
Thank you. Good to be back.
Been a while, hasn't it?
Yes.
You've made a move since then, and all kinds of things have changed for you.
Yes.
Which we'll discuss in full
Later.
detail in the interview later.
Okay.
Tell us about One Summer, your song that you just
Well,
performed.
actually, that was inspired by a girl that I knew in the 7th grade. And we were kind of friends in school and not intimate or anything like that. Of course, we were about 12 or 13 years old, so that's a little young. But, we used to go hang around a baseball field, and I was really chasing a different girl. But she and I got to be such good friends that we'd just go hang out at her house. Mm-hmm. And, that's what it turned out to be. That was in about 1965.
All
So
right.
you remember the music from back there. She had a turntable that we'd put a stack of 45s on and just listen to them for hours and just listen to the music. And,
That was great fun, though,
oh
wasn't
yeah,
it?
oh yeah. You didn't have to do anything else.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
listen to the music.
Days
Yep.
were and times were much simpler then.
Yes, much simpler.
Speaking of days, you have a song called "Better Days." Tell us about that.
Okay, this is actually from about the area that we moved from. We lived in the same house for 34 and a half years.
Wow.
And when we moved there were creeks around, and there was a farmhouse over on the hill, and all that has changed, and now there's apartment complexes there, and all the big package stores and things, and so it was kind of like you look out your window one day, and it's 30 years later, and nothing is the same as it was when you moved there. So
Wow.
that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
It's called Better Days. There's a one-store shopping center where the farmhouse used to be. 6-lane highway runs down off the hills and through the trees. There's a large apartment village all along that little creek, where dreams began as we ran. Better days for you and me. Better days when all was wonder. Better days we thought would stay. By the time we heard it thunder, we paved under better days. Dreams of memories fill my nights, reality the days. We've made the most of living by adjusting all our ways. We've known some pain from growing, and the growing always change. We fill the world we built until we find our better days. Better days when all was wonder. Better days we thought would stay. By the time we heard it thunder, they paved under better days. There is no going back, you know. The future is the dreams we hold to live in better days. Better days when all was wonder. Better days we hoped and prayed. And by the time we heard it thunder, we paved under better days. By the time we heard the thunder, they paved under better days. Thank you very much.
Craig, you got a song called Nobody's Asking. Tell us about that one.
Well, you'll have to remember back. There was you and me.
You asked me to remember?
Yes. Just
You
just
didn't
one
tell
night.
me you were going to do
Just
that.
one night. We played in it was you and me, and I don't remember her name, from Ennis.
Vicki Williams.
Vicky.
Vicki Williams, yeah.
And we played at a hotel in downtown Fort Worth.
Oh, at Mambo's. Was it?
Mambo's.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had to
think it
struggle
was-
to get there, and then
Yeah, it was at Mambo's, I think, when they were still there.
okay. I don't think it's even there anymore,
It's
is
not
it?
there
No.
anymore.
Yeah, okay.
That's right. Yeah,
Probably most of the places I've played in the past are not there anymore.
Change is happening.
Yeah. Anyhow, it
You know
really
what,
came
though?
about.
You know what, though? You're still playing, and they're not.
And they're
That's
not.
right.
That's
There we
right.
go.
That's
There we
right.
go.
This actually came about. I had played in a couple of different blues bands, and this is a quasi blues song. And my wife said, "Well, you ought to write a blues song." And so I said, "Well, okay, I'll see if I can do that." Well, nobody's asking where you have been or when you're going back there again. And nobody wants to know where you have gone. Nobody's begging you to come along. You made up your mind a long time ago. Then you set off down that road, and you knew you'd be gone for a while. When you returned to me, I managed to smile. I don't wanna be all you'll ever need. I'll be who I am. I don't wanna change, top or rearrange what you have planned. Well, it's easy now to see how it goes, where it will end. Nobody knows. All journeys do. This is for sure. But for the traveler, there is no cure. And I don't wanna be all you'll ever need. I'll be who I am. I don't wanna change, top or rearrange what you have planned. Thank you. Thank you.
I really like that. As a matter of fact, I'd love to do that song.
Yeah?
Have you got
Yeah.
volume control on that guitar?
Yeah.
Give a little bit more to Reno back there.
Okay.
Okay. Test it real quick. Make sure it's not better rate.
Need more or are you good?
He wants about 80%.
80%.
Okay. Did that raise it? Okay.
He did in here too good. Great Shores. Tell us about that.
Well, this is just love for my country, I think. I kind of wrote this in several parts, and you'll see it mentions different places. It really started off as a guitar riff. If you start in G, you can walk down to D, and there's kind of a D in the middle of each one of the different walks. You can walk from C to D. So it kind of started with a guitar riff, but then I wrote the verses. And, you know, the chorus I like, mostly the second line, but it's just, you know, take a look around this country and see what you see. Great shores.
You know, Craig, I've got to say too, just real quick, you one of the most prolific songwriters I know, but also you just keep coming back with song after song after song. That's good. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, got
Thank you.
substance.
California, from the desert to the seas, feels the Santa Ana winds that blow in spring. Southern Florida and her daily summer rains cool the little afternoon that still remains. Colorado and the early autumn snow, they make the mountains and the valleys all around them glow. Go take a look at this great country, and yes, everywhere you see a rose, there will be thorns. I think you'll find she's really something, and that's why every day people fight to stay on these great shores. Way up in Maine, a lighthouse shows the ships the way. Out in the dead of night or on a foggy day. In South Dakota, there are faces carved in stone, men who would stand with you but could have stood alone. In New York Harbor, there's a lady with a torch, inviting all who will to come and sit upon her porch. Go take a look at this great country. Yes, everywhere you see a rose, there will be thorns. But I think you'll find she's really something. That's why every day people fight to stay on these great shores. I'm not saying wars is what we need, or that we should give up on world peace. But freedom is not a guarantee, that's why we fight. Go take a look at this great country. Yes, everywhere you see a rose, there will be thorns. But you'd better learn to fight for something, or someone we let stay will take what we have made and blow it all away on these great shores.
Thank you.
My mom would probably say, stand for something or fall for anything.
Yep.
Craig, for those that are watching on Facebook tonight and that will be seeing this on YouTube later, do you have a website where they can contact you?
No, I don't.
You don't. Do you have a place where they can buy your music?
No, I don't.
Well, looks like In the Music Room is it for you.
That's it.
It's okay. We'll do that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Well, you know, with all the songs that you've done here, you just need to release a live CD and you'll have merch to sell and everybody will be happy because they can have you in their own homes. You have you have another song, Where's the Beef?
Where's the beef? Oh, this
I remember that commercial way back when.
way back when, and that's a little bit where this came from, but not really.
Ended up being a part of a presidential campaign, if I remember too.
Yeah. This song actually, and you know, we interact with people, whether it's at work, in the grocery store, in the, you know, at the gas station, you see somebody and say hey or whatever. You know, the people that you see around. A girl that was an expediter where I worked told me about this guy in Louisville that had been in the news for butchering a deer in his backyard, in his garage. Okay?
I remember.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that was okay. Okay, yeah, that's interesting, you know. Well, then another guy that totally didn't know her, that was a completely separate section of my life, told me about this guy, and that the homeowners association got all up in arms and stuff. And you know, you can't do that in Louisville, Texas. This is the year 2000 whatever, you know, and
Right.
we're just not going to have that. And it's like, okay. So I've heard that from two people, and then there was a little blurb about, I don't know, maybe 50 or 100 words in the newspaper that was talking about this thing. It's like, somebody's got to write a song about this. There's something there that you know, needs to be said. So some guy named Craig St. Clair in North Dallas wrote a song called Where's the Beef? And we flavored a little bit too. In a little known North Texas town, a man we'll just call Bob butchered meat in his backyard while his neighbors became a mob. Oh, they called the sheriff and he told them there's really nothing I can do. So they called the press and told us boys, I guess the rest is up to you. We asked him where's the beef, and he said it's hanging in my garage. I also smoke and drink, and I might cuss a mite, and by the way I drive a Dodge. Now none of this here's against the law, so before you start a big old fight, you better make sure that you can hold and chew this chunk of beef you're gonna bite. Oh, to make sure that we had all the facts, we headed off to do our research. Is it really okay to butcher meat in your backyard Sunday after church? Now would it be a city or a county feud? No, two cities view it quite the same. But in this here city, it's your right as long as it is an ill-gotten gain. We asked him where's the beef, and he said it's hanging in my garage. I also smoke and drink, and I might cuss a mite, by the way I drive a Dodge. Now none of this is against the law, so before you start a big old fight, you better make sure that you can hold and chew this chunk of beef you're gonna bite. Now neighbors, take a tip from me before you become that mob. Be sure you're not living down the street from my dear old neighbor Bob. Just ask him where's the beef,
and you'll say it's hanging in my garage. I also smoke and drink, and I might say a cuss I might by the way I drive a Dodge. Now none of this here's against the law, so before you start a big old fight, you better make sure that you can hold and chew this chunk of beef you're gonna bite. Where's the beef? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I always like hearing that song. It's good.
You know, Bob probably would say life isn't fair. You know?
Speaking of which, that's your next song. But
he can't go
I don't know
either.
that Bob inspired it. I don't know. Let's
No,
ask
but
Craig.
Bob might feel that way.
Yeah,
though.
Bob might
Maybe.
feel that way.
Yeah, I'm
Feel
sure. I'm
Or
sure
his
he did it.
neighbors might feel that way.
That's
felt,
true.
They might have just, yeah, Bob was picked on. The neighbors were grossed out. So what can you say?
At least my neighbors hadn't hung us out of beef out in his garage.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well, this is inspired by a saying that I have said for years, and I probably got it from my grandfather or my father, about life being fair and how it's not fair to a lot of people. Bad things happen to good people, but there are also some good things that happen. And I mentioned in here my sons, and wasn't really inspired by them, but we kind of threw them in here anyhow. And they are some of the ones that used to always say life isn't fair. Dad, that's not fair.
Fair.
You know,
Yeah, life
two
ain't
boys.
fair.
You know, he got that and I didn't get that. Oh, Dad, that's not fair. So there's a line in here. You'll have to pick it out. I won't tell you what it is, but
Okay.
that's what I used to tell them when they would say that it was unfair. Now most folks would say they were happy where they are, but some live life and hope for something more. Now everyone can't be a shining star, so some of us just have to live life bored. Well, you say life isn't fair. Well, I agree. How some of us are always filled with pain and misery, and others of us float along through life so easily. You say life isn't fair, and I agree. Now someone might say you were lucky, one say good. Each time you come out smelling like a rose. It may be what you did or what you would, but mostly it's just where you put your nose. You say life isn't fair, well I agree. How some of us are always faced with pain and misery, while others of us float along through life so easily. You say life isn't fair, and I agree. Now when my sons were young, they'd often come to me saying, Dad, life ain't fair. Well, I tried to make them see, you've got to keep it light. Don't snarl or stare or jeer, because the only fair I know about comes downtown once a year. You say life isn't fair, and I agree. Some of us are always faced with pain and misery, while others of us float along through life so easily.
You say life is unfair, well I agree. You say life is unfair, and I think we can all agree on that.
Amen.
I agree.
Kids can be nosy sometimes.
There's only one fair in life, and it comes to town once a
year.
year in Dallas. That's great. Love it. You have another song called Lonely Road.
Yeah, I'm not sure where this came from. Probably the fact that I was the wanderer in my family. I moved several times to different towns where I didn't have any family and just, took up with the people that were there. And, music is a family of its own.
Yep.
So, I could go.
We prove that.
Yeah, I could go to a town when I was in Austin for a while, and then when I moved to Dallas, and in fact, I moved to Dallas following a drummer friend that I had from South Texas, and to play in a band here, and so I got here by that, and so the first peoples that I met were that, and this kind of talks about my family, not directly about my family, but kind of inspired by that. That it can be a lonely road going someplace that you're not known or you don't know people, and but music has always kind of been that family that has helped me work through those years.
I started down this road years ago. I wish I had known where it goes. Out on my own and far from home. I wish I had known what is owed when you go down that lonely road, lonely road, all alone. I wish I had known what I'd owe if I go down that lonely road. Well, I made my own way every day. I wish I could say that I knew where to stay. And I heard what you said, but I chose instead just to be low down that road that led me so far from my home, lonely road on my own. I chose to be led down that road that took me farther from my home. To me it's a mystery how some remain so close, others just drift away or vanish like a ghost, only to miss those simple things that mean the most. I started down this road years ago. I wish I had known where it goes.
Nice, very nice.
That's a hell of a song.
That sure is.
I made a note back when you were doing the Great Shores that John Denver would be proud. And, certainly would be
Yeah.
on a song like that. Craig, I just wanted to take a break from the songs here for just a moment.
Get your drink of water.
Yeah, this was such an eventful night where Paul Johnson was here recently and Ian was here recently, and we were
Whit.
all talking in Wit, and we were all talking about how that one night we all met each other, and
Yeah.
your name came up because I think you were hosting that night
At
when
Dunn
we all
Brothers,
went in.
the
At Dunn
DSA.
Brothers.
Yeah,
And
probably
that's
so.
another thing I want to tell you guys. This gentleman hosted an open mic regularly at Dunn Brothers for how many years?
13 years.
Wow.
Wow.
It's still
For-
going on.
Yeah.
For Dallas
Still
Songwriters
doing it.
Association, but it was really Craig St. Clair that made it happen.
Absolutely.
Because he was the one that just persevered, and he was the one that would be there every time. And I mean, if he wasn't there, by God, he got somebody to fill in for him, because I think I've filled in for him before.
Yep.
At least once. So, yeah, but Craig, you're just so dynamic in the Dallas Songwriter scene for so long. And you got a song called Time to Move On.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. It's kind of like a aha moment, I guess you'd say. You get to a time in, it could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could be a band, it could be a lot of different things. And when the song will say, when it's time to move on, it's time to move on.
Mm-hmm. You know it.
That's kind of the way it. I'm not sure I believe my capo notes on this, but.
How is it life seems so sane? Then suddenly you can't explain what it was you thought when you saw that passing train. Did you feel you had to go? Did you think no one would know? The ticket that you bought was not just for show. When you have done all you can do, and you stayed to see it all through, but you have seen your share of proof, it's time to move on. It's time to move on. Could have been one of life's stages. It could have been your rock of ages. Could have been a book. You have read all the pages. Could have been the last 2 years. Could have been your hopes and fears. It could have been a look that brought you to tears. When you have done all you can do, and you stayed to see it all through, but you have seen your share of proof, it's time to move on. It's time to move on. Can you say you've never felt that way? it if there's something else to say. When you have done all you can do, and you stayed to see it all through, but you have seen your share of proof. It's time to move on. It's time to move on. You know it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very true words, too. That's for sure. You have another song called Heroes. What was your inspiration behind that?
This was back when the Iran-Iraq wars were going on, probably during the first George Bush, the original George Bush.
Bush Unfiltered?
Yes, Bush Unfiltered. And this was kind of a combo of that. And when I was in the military, was during the Vietnam era, and there were a lot of things that were weird here and abroad with that entire Vietnam era. You can go back to Korea, and a foreign war changes what goes on at home. It just does.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not in a wartime, things are one way, and during wartime it's different. And this is really about, you can find heroes anywhere, and this kind of links it to the military of how we find our heroes or what we think about them.
The mailman brought good news today, a letter from my son from far away, serving this country in the Iraq war, proud to be American and go that far. He wrote about a story of a boy he knows who became a hero, so the story goes, telling all the soldiers what he heard and seen. Pretty brave allegiance for a boy 14. Heroes come, all shapes and sizes, ordinary folk. That's what surprises. Acting alone, no compromises. Heroes come, all shapes and sizes. Back inside my letter, there's another tale. Soldiers out patrolling when a blowing gale stirred up the sand and blocked the light of day. They got turned around and somehow lost their way. Bullets started flying, no one knew from where. Running up the sand dunes, each one says a prayer. What they find waiting as they top that hill, a soldier in a Humvee by the name of Jill. Heroes come, all shapes and sizes, ordinary folks. That's what surprises. Acting alone, no compromises. Heroes come, all shapes and sizes. Now my son's at home and I've heard many more. Stories of the bravery that come with war. People put in places they could not have dreamed, acting on their instincts through the unforeseen. Then they come back home and find some people scorn what they represented in a uniform. Show them some respect, for there may come a time your child may be the hero who is next in line. Heroes come, all shapes and sizes, ordinary folks. That's what surprises, acting alone, no compromises. Heroes come, all shapes and sizes. My heroes come, all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
You know, Helen, we've done a lot of shows over the year with this gentleman.
Yes, we have.
And a lot of places, a lot of fun, all over the country. And yet there's been a rite of passage. And it seems to be this song. 'Cause I cannot let him get out of the room without playing
this is
this song.
this song is just the best.
One of my favorite songs since I've been doing In the Music Room.
Yep.
Is this song. More to Love. Tell us about it, Greg.
This is ooh, that didn't sound very good. I'm going to turn my tuner on, so be sure to remind me to turn it off so you can hear me.
For sure, because
who gets that task?
we're all going to tell them, because this song's too good not to
On
hear.
the count of three. Turn that damn
Turn that tuner off.
Tuner off, yep.
Tuner off.
Woo!
Okay. This is kind of inspired by growing up in Corpus Christi and seeing ships come and go, and thinking about the people that they're on those ships. A lot of people come and go from many countries, and kind of talking about somebody that said, "Hey, there's got to be more to love than just doing this." So.
My eyes have seen the coming of the freighter. My ears have heard the cawing of the gulls. My arms have held some lost and lonely ladies, but there must be more to love. I've crossed the great Atlantic by the North Sea, seen storms that made more sailors pray than cuss, rode ships with holes bursting with their bounties, but there must be more to love. I've sailed around the world, seen more than 80 countries, but there's one thing I've not found: someone to wait for me, lover, wife, or family, no matter where I'm bound. 3 days on the Pacific to the islands, enchanted by the stars that shined above. Gentle breezes rock the boats against the pylons, and there must be more to love. Deep in my fantasies, she is waiting as I leave, and I know she'll always be awaiting there for me. I've sailed around this world, seen more than 80 countries, but there's one thing I've not found: someone to wait for me, lover, wife, or family, no matter where I'm bound. My eyes have seen the coming of the freighters, my ears have heard the calling of the guns, my arms have held some lost and lonely ladies, but there must be more to love. There must be more to love. There must be more to love.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Superb, as always, Mr. Craig St. Clair. Thank you
you very
so much for joining us this evening. I so appreciate it. And it's so good to see you and Debbie and
thank you.
TC and everybody here. And
We're going to get to catch up in the interview part, too. Craig has moved and done a lot of things since the last time
that's right.
that we had. You know, Craig is one of the very few that's been with us in every location,
Yeah,
from the Texas Theater to
That's
upstairs to here,
that's right.
and
Yeah.
he still comes around.
I know.
Once in a while. Well, we've had some challenges in recent
Yes.
years, but
And we're going to talk about that and let you tell everybody about that here in a few minutes.
Absolutely.
All right.
Meantime, I want to thank Gene and Barbara Moore and Bruce Davis for all the wonderful photographs that they're taking of you and this group this evening. Want to thank Reno Treadway back in the engineering booth for keeping us all on track and telling you when your tuner's on.
And having TC and Debbie.
That's right. Having TC and Debbie here, couldn't ask for more. Also, to our Facebook listening audience, thank you for tuning in. We so do appreciate it. And I hope that all of you keep on coming back and keep listening. You are in the music room.